Narcissus is now 16 years of age. He stands betwixt a boy and grown up. Though full of grace, he is very proud and stable. For a young man full of looks, this is a rare and key time in life. Countless hands wish to take the lovely boy and mold him to the shape they want. Beauty, in this kind of game, turns into the most key part of the sense of mastery. Alive, nimble, pure. We all know this purest part of humankind, well as time moves by. Besmeared with mud paint by society's brush. Who is to do the paint? Why it is to be done? What sort of design will it make? This makes up an endless fight for power. A sort of power named own and rule comes forth in a true way from this fight. This is the base aim of the echo and the nymphes seek. But this is the first sort of power. The right to get the young body is not with the folks in the fight. It is with the young man alone. The nymphs, with the echo at their head, can't just grab young Narcissus by force. That would break the sense of mastery itself. In this time, a fairer sort of power was made. Narcissus used his lovely body to give a sense of may have, while still make a fear of being far off. He gained the right to rule the choice. But in the end, this force, push and pull, worked on him too. The perfect image made by Narcissus himself would have been a dream he could not get in the end. Power built on looks is far too frail. It is frail, it does not say that said power is holding all the cards. So in this tale, with the three kinds of power, next let us look at the three paths: sick, loss of voice, raise up. Say from a Chinese lens of view, we will dig deep into these three kinds of power. We will try to find a way out. Pan An is one of the most handsome men in China's past. Today, China still uses the saying as fine as Pan An for a good-looking man. His life path was near the same as Narcissus. Due to his good looks, the first half of his life went well. When he was very young, if he took a ride to play out of town, the girls on the road will see him and link arms to stand all around him. They will toss fruit at him to show their love. His cart would be full of fruit each time he went out. This was Pan's ideal look charm as China's finest man of old. Another writer from the same time wished to copy Pan's ride, but his face was ugly, so the women spit at him, which made him turn back in shame. Pan was not just worse with good looks. He had deep learning and great skill was worse. He wrote 3 dirge poems for his wife. These become classics in the story of Chinese right. Yet his look and gift did not help him in his work in the end. He had strong wish for fame and aimed to do well in set efforts. But the folks all around him felt a win in a true way, which kept him from a win in his state job. If it were you, what would you pick to do then? Pan's choice was to use his looks and fame, but tough Senting, the royal king who held great power at that time. From that day on, with the power he got back clean, and the true self-trust that his looks and gift gave him, Pan, just like Narcissus, grew to be too harsh. He thus made fools of all his city rivals he could. In his mind, the power he clung to seemed it would not go out for good. Pan's great wish grew fast. He teamed up with the royal king to set up the crown prince for plot to raise up. This led to the prince being out to death in the end. Yet, the state of things turned fast. A lower rank statesman he had crossed suddenly came to power. He left to be a favored person next to a ruler. Pan felt his statecraft had hit his peak, but he did not say that he was just a small piece in the game. In the year 300, a coup took place. The royal king was slain. Pan was put in jail, and his whole family was put to death by his state foes. Let us take this force and look at Narcissus. In fact, Pan did not die from the killings of his state foes. He died in a pool he made for himself, a pool where he could only see his lovely self. The strong wish of the world that his looks gave him turned into wave after wave of echoes, day in and day out, year after year. These echoes kept on sending kind of words to him a good deal. I am perfect. His first good review of himself. Slowly, in the hard swell of society, was shaped into I could do all things. So Pan could not hear the echo from the world outside, and the echo in his own heart that only he could hear, kept on making his wrong sense of self stronger. Thus, with this self-enhance, one bad call came right after the next. At Pan's wake, there was no fruit thrown by folks who loved him. Only scorn and look of shame were left in the hard rules of society. To only know how to use the power over folks who love you is so silly and a joke. Narcissus and Pan never grew up. They lived forever in that age of 16, loved by all. Let us turn our view to Echo. Her loss of voice did not just come from her Spanish. It had been in place from the start. She still had her human form before she met Narcissus. The way she spoke was no different now. All she did was hear the words of another's and say back the last few. She never said her own self. What she said was not what he truly wished to say. After Hero took her right of talk, he ran into Narcissus. This was the first time he wished to open her heart on her own, but her words were shut down fast by Narcissus. Their talk then was like they were singing. You are so fine. I know. She was still the echo of another folks. The last time she lost her voice was before Narcissus jumped in the stream. Narcissus gave a cough. Echo gave a cough back. Narcissus said goodbye and jumped in the stream to die. Echo at once said goodbye in return. And in the world of the dead, Narcissus still sees himself in the Styx stream, but Echo now sees back the whips of the nymphs in the woods. From the start to the end, Echo never loved Narcissus. She only wished for someone to echo her own self. She hoped to get noticed by singing back the words of another folks. But in truth, the more she spoke, the less folks heard. You may know Lu Xun, the greatest writer in China. He wrote of a poor woman who lost her voice the more he spoke, Sister Xiangling. Xiangling is her given name. We can only guess from the tale that she may have taken her husband's last name, Wei. The whole tale is about the town folks' guesses about Sister Xiangling. At the start of the tale, she still had a fight in her. She ran from her dead husband's home to work as a maid for a landlord in Lu Town. He worked day and night, but this hard life let him feel the sense of being alive for the first time. But her husband's mom came to Lu Town with others. They took her back by force. She was forced to win a second husband. She bore a son. The son could be her new source of hope, but it was not to be. The second husband died of a sickness. Her son was snatched and eaten by a wolf in the earlier spring. At this time, Sister Xiangling had not lost her wish to life. She dragged her crushed body and went back to Lu Town, but she could not work as well as before. The landlord thought of letting her go. At the clan's right, the landlord made sure Sister Xiangling did not do any task. The cause was the fear that a wife who lost her husband would stain the ancestor. Sister Xiangling had not to do. She could only tell his sad tale to folks around her time and again. I was so dim, truly. Sister Xiangling would always start with this lie and tell the same tale. At first, the townsfolk were moved by the tale, but after hearing it too many times, folks grew bored. They took her side set as a topic for small talk in their dull lives. Slowly, Sister Xiangling found her story was not new in the eyes of others. He met a person, wished to say something, but could not get it out. Slowly, she chose to keep her pace. Later, Sister Xiangling used her life's fund. She bought a doorstep from a shrine. Folks walked to and fro on the step. Sister Xiangling felt that being stepped on was for her to pray for her foes. At the end of the story, we only found out from the mouth of Narcissus that Sister Xiangling had died. By then, she was not even the topic of small talk for other folks. In the story of Echo and Sister Xiangling, we see a harsh truth. When we wait for a reply from others, we have lost the skill to speak our mind. True loss of voice is not just losing the right of talk. It is lost the skill to see your own self and be truly known and taken in by other folks. In the tale of Narcissus and Echo, love is not there. All they both wanted was one to say the other was gorgeous, but the way to get it was to wish the other to make the first move. Is this not the same feel we all have when we deal with love? We meet a person, we try them out, talk, and open our hearts, but most of the time, we fear. It seems we never knew true love is a pulse of base animal urges. It has no link to any power. It's a light beam that shows the way for each other when we lose our voice and think, and the power that keeps the light beam on. One is named identification, the other is named inclusion. This is the tale of another beautiful man. At this time, this beautiful and gifted man took a plain look woman to wed with a willing heart. In the Han Dynasty, Liang Hong was born in a Sith clan that was not doing well. He had a good-look face that was not worse than Narcissus, and a learn and morality that was far more than Pan An's. She soon grew to be the idol mare, good knew far and well then. Yet, Liang Hong was not full of self-praise for his gift. Due to his disgust with the test rule of that time, he formally gave up the chance to be a statesman. He also said no to clinging to the rich and strong. He only wished to live out of sight in the hills. Even though the girls of many big homes still love him much, they ask their dads, hoping to be sent to marry the Liang Hong. When faced with these rich house girls, also with fun faces, Liang Hong was not moved. Unlike Narcissus, he did not say no to the wind note due to pride. It was more that he knew. The aim of these rich house girls was half due to rivalry, half due to curiosity. In their view, Liang Hong was not a wise man of Han Dynasty. He was a big toy to boost their worth. Once the new fear was gone, it could be tossed out. These rich house girls could not live a plain life with him. But an ugly girl named Meng Guang did not think that way. Old facts show she had four main traits: ugly, dark, short, and brawny. She was also 30 years old. This was the age to be a great mom. But her mindset was high. He had her own self-worth and rules for a mate. She made up her mind she must wed the high morality Liang Hong. This line went to Liang Hong's ears. He was struck that there was such a girl in the world. He gave the wedding gift on his own and took Meng Guang to marry. On the day of the wedding, Meng Guang, to show her deep fear, put on her best clothes and jewelries. But Liang Hong did not feel joy when he saw it, but was still and said not. 7 days went by like that. Meng Guang on her own asked her husband the cause. Liang Hong said that you in my dreams is a person who can live a plain life with me in the hills. But now you are in gold and silver. This is not what I want. Meng Guang did not get angry at all when she heard this, but smiled with joy. He then said to Liang Hong, I want to see too if your aim to a life out of sight is true. She then took off her fine clothes and put on rough clothes. Each day, Liang Hong came back from farm. Meng Guang would leave the food on the tree high above her head and pass it to her husband, and Liang Hong would take it in a growl way to show his thanks and respects. This move of lift up is they help each other raise up. They help one another to say no, to lose voice, and to think. In the end, the morality of this pair makes their win on their own paths later in life. What is more key is that they give to the one another the most true love that would never seek. This time is too fast, so fast that even love seems to have the module solution. And in most state of things, what we do is just the base wish to own the good parts of the other, ruled by social rules. So keep on thinking in the fourth wheel of love. We keep on losing our voice in the dream of being said yes to. In the end, we lose them and we lose ourselves. Maybe only by saying ourselves clear and truly talking ourselves in, we could find the hand that reaches to us down in the dim stream. We fill up with gas to hold it tight. Then we lift each other up to a light on the stream's top. We keep on going.